Hey, I just want to ask you something real quick before we get into the topic. Do you remember that first time you tried to level up your adventure rank, and the moment you got a new rank, you get those pretty rewards like Primo Gems, and then you get the fragile resins, and also the Mora probably. I don't really remember what you get entirely, but the things that I remember are probably those Primo Gems and fragile resins. Back in the days when we were still low ranked, like around 10 to 20, those rewards feel satisfying as heck. And especially when we try to complete those the ascension quests before we ascend to level, 26, 36, or the levels after that. Well, I'm here to remind you that we don't really have those feelings now anymore as a high level player, at least. And the reason why I'm telling you this, because this is what I feel like Genshin has been neglecting all these times. The way that Genshin works as an RPG doesn't really make sense now as you play in high level. Now what I mean is, the maximum adventure rank right now is 60, right? And then when you try to get to that certain level, the further you get, the more you need to grind. And the worst part of it is not the grindy part, it's that the moment you try to level up to, let's say, 58, 59, 60, we actually just get a set of rewards that are so insignificant for players around that level. The rewards are still the same since, the low levels. They keep giving us these rewards as if we like it, and the truth is, it's not really that good when you're in high level. So that's the first problem I have about progression in Genshin. And the second one is that after months, a year even, after Genshin has been released, there is still nothing to know about when Genshin will actually progress further with the adventure ranks or character growths in general, because the game they're centered around raising characters, right? You want to get characters, you want to raise characters to level 90, etc, etc. But right now, I feel like a lot of people have already done that, and there's nothing else to do right now. Because the moment you realize that you've maxed all those characters, that's about it. That's what I feel right now. And this is why I'm so frustrated with Genshin. It's not that the content is dry, it's not that the game is so dry of events. I mean, the events keep on going every patch, right? That's a good thing. But the main problem is not they're not updating events. It's that the events are so irrelevant for a lot of high-level players that we just don't have anything to do anymore. The events just don't work for the types of players that want actual challenge. And I feel like Genshin is not doing itself a favor by locking us behind level. It's not doing itself a favor by simply locking us and keeping us at that certain level, like level 90, and that's it. You don't get to do anything, the events are there. Basically, you've beaten the game at this point, because everything you fight as a level 90 character, they all just get wiped out in a single touch. For high level players, that's about it. That's the state of the game right now, and I'm so frustrated. And again, I'm talking about the high level players, right? For the casual players, I feel like this is a no problem, but the reason why this needs to be addressed is that either if you're a casual player or a high level player, or you're getting there, you'll eventually get there at some point, and you'll definitely feel the same way as we high level players do. So the high level players, they basically do Abyss. That's probably the hardest content right now since the launch of the game, and they keep changing it every month, I believe. But it's sad to say that it's not helping us anymore, to the point that we're so bored of doing that type of content. We're so bored of even Abyss, because first, the Abyss only fills the part where we get to log in every 2 weeks just to get huge amount of Primo Gems, and then the next part is where we just log out and do nothing. The game feels so dead, feels so halted, that I can't even know what to do. And that is really a bad thing. I don't know about you guys, whether you're just happy about the Abyss because you get to have the waifu or husbando funds, and that's all you're asking for. But for people who have worked hard on their accounts and also giving their efforts to make themselves feel like they are having an achievement, it's as if the game's done right now. The game is not even at Conria or Snezhnaya or Fontaine. The game is still far from over. and the endgame is just so dead. And that's so sad for me to say because I really wanted the game to progress the way it should be. Right now, it's not really that good. At first, I kinda feel like, okay, miHoYo probably know this, but they just don't know when to apply this change. And that's okay. Some things take time, like reworks, progression things, content, challenges. They're pretty hard to design, right? But I just feel like I need to address this as someone who's been playing for more than a year, as someone who's been playing from the start. I kind of feel that fresh feeling the first time I played the game, exploring the world. It was great, it was excellent, and also collecting artifacts, collecting characters, and testing them out in harder content. That's what I've been having fun for. That's what I've been liking about Genshin until now. The truth is that it doesn't feel like that anymore, and if miHoYo wants Genshin to keep going the way it should be, I feel like they need to step things up. And let's say that they know that this is happening. Let's say they also don't want people to get so burnt out like the content creators who... Even the content creators are now switching to other games when they're out of things to do in the game. If they want that to change, then they really need to do this as soon as possible. They really need to make changes. They need to make updates that are more significant than these filler updates. I understand that there are casual players out there. I understand that Genshin Impact is a very large game, has a very large community, and probably divided into many certain parts. But the truth is, the game is an RPG, and the important thing about RPG is that they need to feel like an RPG game. You can't have it anywhere else. Like, you can't have these events where you keep making players to do hide and seek, you keep making players to play mini games like the Albedo event right now. It just feels so out of place for Genshin Impact right now. I myself have been talking about this. I've been telling this to miHoYo through feedbacks, through, surveys, and ranting on social media about how this is hurting the game. But still, it's just a problem that it's so hard to get information about. Like, when are things going to change? When is this going to change? When is something significant going to happen in the high level content? There's nothing about that right now, and it's so sad. I just really hope that I'm not the only one that is doing this, sending feedback to miHoYo, telling them to step up their game. Just add something that is fun. Just like the first time we played Genshin Impact, where we first time tried the Abyss, where it used to be doing, 1 to 8 floors and then continue to the 9th floor, all the way to the 12th floor. It was a good feeling, but now it just doesn't feel like that anymore. And yeah, that's what I wanted to talk about. If you really have idea on how to make the high level content better, you can definitely tell me in the comment section. And by the way, this is probably the first video I've uploaded, so I also want to know what you guys think. This is just a rant video. I'm starting this channel with a rant video. It's so funny, right? I kind of want to talk about more things in the future about Genshin Impact. If you like that, so subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you next time.